Yo, yo, yo. What's up, chat? What's going on, everybody? Hold on. Yo, yo, yo again. Sorry, dude. My fan was like stupid loud. I didn't realize it till I sat down. What's up? What's going on? Or until I started talking, I guess. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. We got the news, like always, and then we'll do V-Rising today. We only have one showcase today, I think. We'll verify that, but we got Dames for Games kicking off at 3 p.m. today, so it should be video gaming news, and then we should jump into V-Rising for the rest of the day, and then we'll end the stream today at 3 p.m. CST with Dames for Games showcase, man. So it should be a good day. We should have some fun. It'll be the first day in a while that we've been able to get just like a full day of gaming in without interruption or, you know, a ton of showcase in between or through most of the day, stuff like that. So, what up? Thug life, son. Hope you guys are doing well. Wick, what up, dude? Gothic, Mithril, my dudes and dudesettes. Let's hop in here, man. Let's get into this this video gaming news stuff, baby. All right, let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. This is what we're jamming out to this morning, by the way. The Loop Hero vibes, dude. I love this soundtrack. I love it. I don't know. It's a very, very cool roguelike, kind of auto-battling RPG, crazy tile placement, synergy kind of stuff that has different effects in the world that with each run you do and stuff. It's really, really cool. So, I don't know. If that sounds cool, check the game out. And I love the soundtrack, dude. I love it. So, check all that out. Check all that out. Kill the music. Let's get into the news here. Get into the news. We'll go over the schedule for today and tomorrow. Actually, it'll be more like today and Thursday because tomorrow's Wednesday. I'm taking Wednesdays off right now to catch up on content stuff. So tomorrow will be a day off. All right. So Thursday though, I'll catch everybody up on what Thursday is going to be content wise. Yo, what's up? Gothic and Kendra, what's going on, guys? Yeah. Those pics were dope, dude. That car is flipping awesome. Yeah. I threw some reactions in there for you. Yeah, thanks for all the pics, man. That's awesome. Yeah. I'll probably pin like a couple of the pics up in there, dude. That car is sick. Very, very cool, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. So I'm sure we'll be recapping today in the news a lot of the Ubisoft and Capcom showcase stuff. Let me say this, dude. Yesterday's showcase stuff was probably some of the best for me so far, and I'll tell you why. One of the big reasons why yesterday was some of the best showcase stuff for me wasn't even necessarily due to any big hype stuff. A big part of it was because Ubisoft and Capcom got to the point. They got to the point. They didn't drag stuff out, and they showed gameplay. Those are three big things for me whenever I'm watching these showcases. It's really, really brutal for me to watch these showcases whenever it's kind of cringe content, cringe filler content, you know? And it's like, dude, just shut up and please show us what we're looking for, you know? There aren't very many of these companies that are very good at like the production quality of including filler content. And so it's more often than not just really nice to have these companies, developers, publishers and stuff just get to the point, man. Show us what we want to see and be done with it, man. And Capcom and Ubisoft both did a pretty good job of that, man. So yesterday's showcases, I was pretty good with these. They were pretty nice. So we need to get a summary of yesterday's showcases. So we'll do that. Oh, here's a nice one. Xbox says PC audience isn't a window, it's a market that deserves our games. Day one. That's what I'm talking about. We've seen a lot of numbers coming out recently where companies are noticing PC gaming is actually becoming almost bigger, if not the same size of a market as console gaming is, which is fantastic. That's great. We'll look at this. Capcom, dude, preserving video gaming history. 40th anniversary site with museum and playable retro games. Nintendo. Are you seeing this, Nintendo? Look what Capcom's doing, Nintendo. Wait, what, Wick? You're dead this morning. You blame True and Mithril. Why? Did you guys stay up playing games or something? I actually ended up staying up a little bit later last night and playing games with my son. My son wanted to play games last night, so we stayed up and played some games together. So it was kind of a longer night for me too. Against your will, yeah, right, dude. Yeah, I was gonna say. All right, let's get in here and see what we got. I've talked about all this noise. We've talked about that. Looks like Xbox is expecting to have 4 big AAA games a year from first party studios. I don't think that that's big surprise from them. She made you, huh? She made you get off Fortnite and go play Grounded. Uh huh. She made you do that. Uh huh. Uh huh. I'll talk to True about that today. We're gonna be playing V Rising together, so I'll talk to True about that. We've already got this up. Ooh, Silent Hill 2 release date possibly leaked. Okay. Is this new stuff out of the FTC blocking stuff? Oh, it is. Okay. Okay, here's some new stuff. FTC sues to block Microsoft Activision Blizzard gaming merger. Okay. That's new. I need summary articles for the Ubisoft and Capcom stuff. There we go. Ubisoft Forward Showcase 2023 biggest announcements in games. We'll recap that. How did the grounded gameplay? How late were you up playing games, dude? We've talked about this. Actually, I need to talk to Syank. I need to talk to Syank. Syank's been I think Syank downloaded this and is was planning on like trying out games like V Rising on this to see how well it would work on his Mac and everything. So I need to talk to Syank and see how much he's been able to mess with this. Probably 11:30. I was up until like I quit gaming at 9. Like me and my son stopped playing together at 9. And dude, I wanted to keep going, but I was like, bro, I got to get off here. I got to get ready for bed. I got to get ready for bed, dude. Ten exciting recent trailers for PC gamers looking for something new. Is this just the PC gaming show stuff? Yeah, I think so. I'm not gonna dive into that. For reals? That's awesome. Dim spooters be scary on your own, I guess. Yeah. New details for Dragon's Dogma 2 revealed. Ooh, 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 ooh. This is probably my biggest hype game right now. Fighting the grubs. Really, just you know, I'll take the grubs. Don't worry about it. Oh, for real? The black, like yeah, the flipping the wolf spiders. Yeah, the Exo Primal showcase was dope too. We've seen a lot of that though, so I'm not gonna dive into. Exo Primal looks good to me, man. It has for a long time. It's obviously Capcom's playing into this whole like. I think Exo Primal is going to do very well as long as the gameplay is good. I think it's going to be very lucrative for them if the gameplay is good too, because what the deal is it's a game that sets the premise for them to be able to have people in there and to have people spend additional money on microtransactions to uh, have a lot of different skins and stuff like that, cosmetics for their exosuits and stuff, which is, I mean, if the gameplay's good, it'll bring people in, and if people like the gameplay and they want to be in that game, they want to be unique and they want to be able to flex and show off different stuff, right? So we've already seen they're already planning on collaborating within their own development on Street Fighter 6. They've got like a Robo Ryu exosuit skin and stuff like that. So there's some crazy stuff coming in there, but the gameplay looks really interesting to me. Lots of cool co-op and PvP stuff in there, and dude, I just love exosuit and mech stuff too. So that's probably one reason it looks good to me. Save almost $250 on this. Oh, that's a laptop, not a monitor. What? Elder Scrolls 6 could be Todd Howard's last game. Why though? Todd Howard's obviously immortal. We'll take a quick peek and see why that might be. Yeah, we've got an article up about the Series S, Series S console that's coming out with a terabyte of storage space. We didn't get to hit on that yesterday. I still have it up, so we'll talk about it today. Oh, he's actually saying that may be the last one he does. He's looking to retire, maybe, dude. Hmm. Yeah, we saw the Avatar Frontiers of Pandora stuff yesterday as well. Let's go to our other search. What is it? Horses is a horror video game? What is this, dude? Oh no. All right, we'll take a look at this. I've never seen this, I don't think. Oh, here we go. Every highlight from the Capcom showcase. There we go. So we'll be able to recap both of these. Uh, uh, there we go. And then we'll put Capcom behind that. Perfect. All right. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are really loving Diablo 4, man. It's good. I'm glad people are enjoying it, dude. That's great. Yeah, the Star Wars Outlaw stuff actually looked pretty decent, gameplay wise. I like that you're more like a rebel in that universe rather than a Jedi, a Jedi, a Jedi. You're a Jedi, or you can be a Jedi, or a Jedi, or a Jedi. You know, and it seems like they're giving you the option to, choices matter, where you can be more good natured or kind of more roguish, which is cool. Get wrecked. I don't care. Embracer group restructuring brings layoffs and studio closures. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Call of Duty boycott calls as Activision wades into the LGBTQ plus culture war. Hmm. We'll hit on the Crew Motorfest stuff and the Ubisoft recap, and the Avatar stuff. Got that up. Yeah, Miasma Chronicles looked pretty cool yesterday. This looks pretty wild too. Which one was this out of? Still Wakes the Deep. This looks pretty interesting. I love dark games like this. We'll take a peek at that, all right? Yeah, okay, so real quick. Physical releases could be phased out by 2028, says analyst. Could be. Everybody's speculating right now, including myself. We talk about it a lot here in this channel, right? I mean, look, PC side of gaming has been away from physical stuff for flipping ever already. The console side, though, has really stuck with it pretty heavily. Um, and there's a number of reasons why they still do it. Part of it's nostalgia, part of it's collector stuff, which goes hand in hand with the nostalgia side of it, kind of. What you'll see is like what's started to happen is you'll see games that go multi-platform that are have like collector's editions and stuff, right? So they'll be on like console and PC. The console collector's editions will have physical copies with them, and the PC side will have like a key for a digital copy of the game. So that's the way it's been for a while now. But fact of the matter is, the optical media is not big enough anymore. It really they should have transitioned away from it a long time ago for more modern games. If they wanted to continue doing physical games, and then now we're getting to the point where we've got certain developers. Take for instance Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 is not being released with any kind of physical copy on any platform because they were like the game's too big and it didn't make sense for us, right? Because it's just you'd have to. push out multiple copies or multiple discs for each retail copy that was going to be a physical version, or you'd be in the situation like Jedi Survivor where it would be like, okay, you push out one disc, but you still need to download like an insane amount of initial data to be installed to play with the physical copy, and that just kind of almost defeats the purpose for a lot of people. One of the other reasons, let me tackle this real quick. One of the other reasons a lot of people still buy physical copies also is if they don't have good internet or any internet at all. Physical copies still have a place for those people, right? So I don't know. Then you've got like Final Fantasy 16's coming out, and or no, Rebirth. I think it was Rebirth, right? Final Fantasy Rebirth's coming out, and it's going to be a 2-disc version. So physical copies will hit. It'll be 2 discs that you'll have to, if you're going to play physical, you'll have 2 discs you have to use, like it used to be in the olden days, man. Final Fantasy 7 was like 3 discs. You know, Final Fantasy Rebirth's now going to be 2 discs. Which is a bit weird, man, reverting back to that kind of thing when technology has advanced so much. But these, these console developers have not advanced their media they're using along with, game advancement. So games are getting too big, and we're in another predicament here. So I don't know what the answer is. A big part of it's going to, I think, really fall on the shoulders of the developers themselves of the consoles. And, if they decide that they don't want to move away from optical drives, I think they need to still stick with optical drives for backwards compatibility, because that needs to be incorporated more for consumers of consoles. But I think they need to incorporate another media type for modern games, which would be something like probably more like SD cards, micro SD cards, something like that, where you can put much more data on there and the games can be locked down on those cards in where you can't get nearly as much data on something like a Blu-ray disc, So I don't know what the answer is myself. It's really a lot of it's going to depend on what the industry, the big game console developers end up wanting to do with their consoles. And then the developers themselves and publishers themselves are going to have to adjust accordingly. If they just stick with optical drives, even in the next gen consoles, I think we're done. I think physical is done. I don't think, I think it's really going to be totally phased out. I really do. Oh, Dragon's Dogma 2. Oh, boy. Okay, let's stick with this. Let's stick with this. Kick it off with some Embracer Group restructuring brings layoffs, studio closures, and game cancellations. The group owns studios behind Dead Island 2, Saints Row, Borderlands, and more. Video game holding company Embracer Group has announced that it's restructuring and will undergo a series of employee layoffs, studio closures, and game cancellations in the process. In an open letter published yesterday, no, that is today. It is today, June 13th. Embracer Group CEO Lars Wingfors shared that in response to the worsening economy and market reality, the company will be undergoing a period of cost saving and optimization. Set to run until March 2024, Wingfors claimed the restructuring will create growth and profitability for the company, although it will also see workers hit with layoffs, along with game cancellations and the closure of studios within Embracer Group's portfolio. You know what's always funny to me is like we keep seeing this as the reasoning behind layoffs. The worsening economy and market reality. But like the gaming industry is making more money year after year after year. It's like you go look at the numbers, dude. The gaming industry is just continuing to soar. But every time a company comes out and goes, we need to make layoffs, this is the default answer. Sorry, but it's the economy's bad. It's like, bro, that doesn't make sense, dude. So you guys made more money this year than you did last year, but this is your um answer for why you need to lay off people. This is almost always the situation. And it'd be different if they were like giving us these kinds of answers and then giving us numbers to go along with it. It's like, look, we've lost money last year over this year, and there have been companies where we've seen the numbers outright, like Ubisoft has not done well. That's one for a good example there. Ubi has not done very well. They had to do layoffs and things like that, and they've had to scrap a lot of projects because they've been struggling for a number of years now. But it's just really crazy to have so many companies always use this as you know, their cop out for needing to do layoffs whenever so many of these companies are just continuing to increase their profit margins year over year. It's really nuts. Set to run until March. Yeah, we read that. Actions will include, but not limited to, closing or divestments of some studios and the termination or pausing of some ongoing game development projects shared Wingfours. It will also include decreased spending on non-development costs such as overhead and other operating expenses. It will reduce third-party publishing and put greater focus on internal IP and increase external funding of large budget games. While it's too early to say how many employees will be affected, Wingfours noted that only unannounced games have been canceled. Look, that's not also, like, to be fair, this whole thing is normal, dude. And that's a normal thing in the industry too. So this happens all the time. Development studios, especially big development studios, or big companies that have a lot of subsidiary development studios, things of that nature. There are always a lot of projects in the works, right? And there are always projects that are being like scrapped because there's basically like a process, right? They get a lot of ideas. It's like a think tank basically of like ideas for games. What do we have? What can we come up with that's new and intriguing, and what can we get rolling out? Let's start thinking about what we can start working on. And they get all these ideas, and then they get different teams start trying to like flesh them out, and then then they bring them all back to the table a little while later, and it's like, okay, which ones seem the best? Which ones seem the best to keep working on, and they scrap a bunch of them, and then it goes through okay, the ones that we're keeping, go work on them some more. And then they come back and then they narrow it down even more. And it's continually a process like that, right? So there are a ton of games that get scrapped all the time we never hear anything about. Embracer is the owner of numerous game companies, including Gearbox, Plaion, Saber, THQ Nordic. In turn, each of these groups are home to numerous studios, including the developers behind Dead Island 2, Borderlands, Saints Row, and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2, to name a few. Last year, Embracer Group purchased Crystal Dynamics, Tomb Raider, and Square Enix Montreal from Square Enix, though closed the Montreal studio just 2 months after buying it. 2022 also saw Embracer buy Middle-earth Enterprises, which gave the company rights to Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Yeah. So there you go. It's kind of what's going down at Embracer. Embracer is a huge flipping company, by the way. Funny enough, if you didn't hear about this, so last year in like May, they struck a deal with Square Enix, right? They basically purchased all of Square Enix's North American development studios. I think they were all in Canada. Yeah. That's also a part. Yeah, no doubt, Wick. Yeah, that's also a part of it. And there's always going to be an amount of like trimming the fat, right? Don't get me wrong. But that's like, that's a part of continual employee, evaluation, and like if employees aren't hitting the mark, then that's just a part of that should be a normal part of, and that's not where people just get mass layoff normally. You know what I mean? that's not where that normally gets reported. It's like on an individual basis of well, you're not hitting the mark, you're and usually people get replaced in that aspect. But yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, a lot of overhire and stuff, and I mean, again, it's the market's not like it was. So when the pandemic hit, right, and that's what you're kind of hitting at. Like the pandemic hit, and it's like while most other industries, and there were parts of the gaming industry that got hit real bad, like console, like hardware was rough, right? Like so hardware was rough because it was hard to get parts, chips, things like that. But other than that, like development of software was big, and needing to set up big infrastructure because there were so many people staying at home and playing games. So there was many other parts of the gaming side were huge, and had they were boosting up all these companies because of the pandemic stuff. And now that we're done with the well, not done, but on the back end of it, right? We've gotten to where we're dealing with it. Not everybody is working from home and staying at home anymore and things, right? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, yeah, yeah. But I find it funny that it's like, that's just always the default excuse. It's like, oh well, the economy is bad. It's like, no, no, it's not. You guys just, you're playing it. You're just trying to play off that. The economy is not bad in your industry, dude. It's, you kind of set yourself up for failure. I see. I know what you're. Yeah. I mean, you're kind of hitting on it. With, you know, it was there was. I mean, in some ways they kind of had to, and then in some other ways it was almost like they didn't really think about long term or anything like that. They were just like, oh, we'll just hire a ton of people, and then we'll just fire them a little bit later. Like that's terrible. That's a terrible way to go about doing that kind of stuff. It's not always. It's not easy to. I mean, you can't really foresee the future or anything either. But I find it hard to just like grab onto this. Really, I think this is the thing. It's like this is just always the default. And it's, I mean, you go look at the numbers for the industry. The industry is just year over year is just more and more profit, and it's like, man, that's a weird, just because nobody wants to actually talk about what the real reason is. You know what I mean? Like what you're getting at right now, what we're talking about. Nobody wants to just come out and blatantly say it. you know, they just want to go, oh well, the economy is getting bad. It's like, dude, you guys have made more money year over year for like ever now. It's like the economy, like the industry is just super profitable. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. But we're all, I mean, we should just be used to that by now. Um, so basically, if you guys don't remember, Embracer bought all the North American development studios off of Square Enix, like May of last year. And along with that, it was like 4 studios, and then they got the IPs for Deus Ex, Tomb Raider, and Thief along with it. And then not even like what was it, like 8 months later, they turned around and sold the rights to, and they bought all of that for 300 million. Not that 300 million is chump change, but in comparison to something like what Xbox and Microsoft are preparing to spend on Activision Blizzard, which is $69 billion Kappa. $300 is kind of pocket change. 300 million is kind of pocket change compared to that, and they turned around and they sold the Tomb Raider rights to Amazon for double what they paid for all of that. So they sold Tomb Raider to Amazon for 600 million. like like not even like I think it was around half a year later. So this year at some point, it was like early this year. They turned around, they turned around and sold Tomb Raider to Amazon for 600 million when they bought all of that stuff from Square Enix for 300 million like half a year earlier. That's crazy, dude. I don't know, but yeah, this is the situation here, I guess. Kind of crazy. If you need more out of it all, I'll give it to you. So it was a pretty good play by Embracer, but that's what Embracer does. Embracer's known for that. They buy and sell and buy and sell. Call of Duty boycott calls as Activision wades into LGBTQ plus culture war. Calls for a boycott of video game Call of Duty are growing on social media after its owner, Activision, withdrew in-game items relating to a notable player after he made a tweet critical of LGBTQ plus policies in schools. Um, this is Nick Merckx, dude. Yeah. Yeah, he had a skin. I heard about this. He had a skin that was supposed to be in Call of Duty, and it got removed from sale after commenting on Twitter about a mass brawl outside a school board meeting in Glendale, California. Oh, dude, it's such a weird world we live in, dude. Oh, God dang it. I mean, look, I've got articles out there about like I don't know. For instance, some of the like one of the big topics here recently in video game development was like Alloy, you having the ability in the Burning Shores DLC of Horizon to engage in a same-sex relationship as the character Alloy in Horizon, right? And dude, people were throwing a fit about it, and I think it's kind of insane to me because a lot of the comments that I was getting on the um a lot of the comments that I was getting on the video itself, that clip was like people trying to find excuses to hate on it is what it seemed like. You know, when to me it's like I don't see it as a big deal. It's just a person, it's just a character being in a relationship with another character. But everybody was throwing a fit because it was a same-sex relationship. And I wouldn't have even thought twice about it until it became such a big deal. And then it was like the excuses. Hold on one second. The excuses were things like, well, she's never shown interest in being in a relationship before in the games. Like that was one, and I'm like, but dude, this is the second game. It's like we're not talking about like 5 iterations of the game in so far or anything. It's like this is the second game, and we know that they're planning on making a third at this point. So Gorilla which is the developer, right? Gorilla is just probably at the point where they're decided that they're wanting to flesh out that side of the character now. That's immersion, and that's what you do with characters. The more that they end up being in games which are made, and so that was not a valid point to me. That was kind of stupid. One of the other things was like people just automatically went straight for, well, the developers just trying to shove LGBTQ plus content in my face and down my throat. And it's like, dude, it's just a character being in a relationship. Like, what are you talking about? Like, why is it automatically people just go straight towards like, well, they're just trying to shove their agenda down. It's like, so the thing that I have a problem with on that front is that like had it been Alloy, had Gorilla decided in the development process that you could potentially get into a relationship with a heterosexual sexual individual, then it wouldn't have been an issue at all, right? Like nobody would have said anything about it, and that's not fair, right? That's not fair at all. So what? Just there's like entire demographics of people out there that aren't supposed to be able to be represented in media and stuff because it's not quote unquote normal or whatever. You know, that's stupid. That doesn't make sense either. There's like and don't get me wrong, dude, in with any kind of and to be fair also, man, I'll say this. If anybody thinks that, you know, any any group that's had to deal with social injustice, dude, okay? If anybody thinks that they have wanted to have to fight for their rights to be treated the same way as anybody else in society for as long as they have, whatever that group may be, you're out of your mind, right? That doesn't make sense. So they just want to be treated the same way. And so, yeah, I mean, you're always going to have people everywhere across the world that go, you know, that take maybe things to an extreme on any front and go, you know, if you're not part of our group and you don't stand up with our group, then you're against our group. And that's not fair either, right? So, you can't do that, right? You can't do that to people either. You can't say, well, if you're not standing up with us, then you're against us or whatever, right? You can't necessarily do that to people either. But so some people maybe take things a bit too far, but I think that there are just so many people in the world that have such a hard time with empathy, which is starts with being able to put yourself in other people's shoes, man. Being able to see things from the perspective of other people and what they have to deal with and what their lives may be like and the things that they've had to deal with and the adversities and things like that, you know? And I mean, coming again from a straight individual, I don't have any kind of attraction to the same sex. I also have no issue calling out very beautiful men, dude. But they're not attracted. I'm not attracted to them. You know, there are a lot of beautiful human beings in the world. Some of them are men, and I mean, I'm comfortable enough in who I am that I can say that. And it, you know, I mean, I'm married. I've been married for a long time to an amazing woman. I'm very attracted to her, you know, and that's what it is for me. But there are people out there that are the opposite, and you know, and that's absolutely fine. And there's just so many people out there that it's like for any kind of difference, anybody that's different from them, it's like that's bad. You know, you're different from me, and that's bad. And I think that's where the biggest of these issues comes about. People start losing their minds because anything that's different than what they are is not acceptable, right? And instead of just letting people be who they are, as long as they're good people, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about like people being bad people, but letting people be who they are as long as they're inherently good people morally and ethically and everything, you know. And people want to be up in each other's business all the time and everything too, why, you know, like what does it matter to you? And here's the and I'll agree, dude. There's some stuff that's going on in here in this country too, where there's some weird stuff going on, and it varies from state to state with the way these politics work and the way they're trying to like um, address some. And I don't care whether you're talking about the LGBTQ stuff or you know anything that has to do with you know relationship like relationships on a sexual front. It does not need to be addressed to children outside of their home. You know what I mean? That's not a place for the school, in my opinion, to be dealing with things, man. You know, you don't have to address that kind of stuff, though. In regards to relationships, that's something totally separate, man. You know what I mean? And it shouldn't be a big deal for people to be able to separate people just loving one another from the actual sexual side of it. Those don't have to be the same thing, you know. But people have a really hard time separating that too for some reason, you know, because they've got some weird like fear of it or something. And so anytime, you know, it comes to when we're talking about like the LGBTQ plus community and you know people always making it such an issue, it's like take for instance like people trying to get books banned in schools whenever it's just a book for kids and all it shows is like maybe a same-sex parents in a book or something. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with sex or anything like that in it. All it is showing two loving individuals like engaged in helping to like raise a child or something. But people that don't see that as normal, you know, are trying to get rid of that content when it literally has nothing to do with sex or anything like that, which is absolutely insane, isn't it? So people are trying to make sure that it's just there's a lot of gray to it, man. But I don't know. It's really crazy, and I'll stick to the mindset of this that like people need to chill out and just try to let people live their best life and love who they want to love. And you know, I totally agree with the fact that if a school is trying, if my kids were in public school and this school was trying to, you know, educate them on any kind of like, I don't know, sexual nature of things or whatever, dude, I'm gonna be totally against that. But as far as just like people loving one another or whatever, dude, it's people have a really hard time separating that concept of like just people loving one another and then, you know, putting the sexual side of it, you know, away too. It's really weird, dude. And so that's what a lot of this has come down to too. Um, I don't know, man. Sorry, I know that went a bit long there, but it's like it's so crazy that this is like always such as big of an issue it is as it is for me, um, or as it is for the world, really. You know what I mean? Just like these kinds of these demographics of people. I'm not just talking about LGBTQ plus. I mean, it can be anybody, dude. Anybody, whether it be race or, you know, spiritual beliefs or, you know, sexual preference or orientation or whatever. There's just so much discrimination and hate for people that are different from whatever some other individual, you know, the way they believe and stuff. And it's just so crazy that it makes people hate one another so much, man. It's really sad, honestly. Responding to a video on of the fight. Wait, what fight? Oh, of the outside that school. Um, that's Nick Merckx, right? Kolchev. I think so, dude. Wrote in a tweet that has since been viewed 50 million times. They should leave little children alone. It's a real issue. Um, While some users agreed with Nick Merckx, others suggested that the language played into accusations that LGBTQ plus affirming lessons were being used to groom children. While such rhetoric has been used by prominent conservatives, others have said it is extremely harmful. In a live stream later the same week, Kolchev denied holding anti-LGBTQ plus beliefs, noting that he and his wife just had a child. He said, "Her and I agree that we want to be the ones to talk to our kids about things like that." Kolchev added, "The video bothered me. I don't think that it's any place for a teacher or a school. I don't think it's the place to speak about that. It's not that I think it shouldn't be spoken about." On June 9th, Call of Duty tweeted that Nick Merck's Operator Bundle has been removed from its Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone stores. We're focused on celebrating pride with our employees and our community, it added. Previous day, Activision had written in celebration of LGBTQ plus Pride Month, "We aim to foster an inclusive, supportive, and judgment-free environment." June 11th, fellow streamer Tim the Tap Man Also wanted his skin removed in support of Nick Merckx. Yeah. So it is such a weird time. It's really odd. I mean, I don't necessarily, I wouldn't feel comfortable with a school, engaging in, a school is to educate. I mean, if they're talking about history or something like that, and they're going to dive into history about, social injustice or whatever, okay. But usually that kind of social study stuff is going to be at a higher grade level. Yeah, than like maybe some elementary, even maybe middle school stuff, random of time. Um, but I wouldn't expect a public school system to be, getting into any like dedicated education lessons about anything having to do with like real relationships or anything like that with my child. That's I don't feel like that's their place either. Um, so I don't know. It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing, and because ultimately this is what it comes down to. I think. Um, you guys know how I feel about things, and I'm all about people loving who they want to love, because as long as you're living your best life, and love is great, dude. Live your best life, love who you want to love. There shouldn't be a big deal about it. Um, but if you're sending your kids to public school, you're always going to have people in there that have some possible agenda that might not be great people, that are going to try and sway your kids, groom your kids to some weird, maybe thought process that isn't, according to what you know you are interested in having them believe, right? And I mean, honestly, for myself and the way that I think and everything, I wouldn't want my kids being, you know, being taught that maybe, only certain relationships are okay and other relationships are bad or whatever. I wouldn't want my kids being educated that that's the way people should think. That would I would be totally offended by that. I think there's always the potential, because look, educators are just people too, right? And I've got a lot of respect for educators. There are a lot of amazing educators out there, but educators are the same as police, are the same as politicians or whatever. There's good ones out there and there are bad ones out there, right? So there are going to be good ones that do a really good job at focusing in and trying to be good people and uh, elevate society to a higher standard and a higher level. And then there are going to be other ones out there that are scummy and terrible and bad and harm that also, right? So you can't ever really be sure. And I think that's the things that's really scary for me on that front. And so I don't know. It's a rough thing to address, and I think that all in all, I think that if public education really, I mean, I think there's a lot of things that should just public education should be about certain things, and there are certain things that should be taken out of it that don't need to be a part of it. That really should lie on the shoulders of the peers and adults and parents and that are part of those children's lives. And it's not really the responsibility of the education system. Education, let's go math and science and and the normal stuff there. I think they're trying to get too ingrained. They're trying to get too deep with some of this stuff. And I don't know. It's a weird time, dude. It really is. But look, man, I mean, you guys know how I feel, and I know that that might not be the way that everybody feels. That's okay. That's okay. I'll disagree with you, but I mean, again, coming from I know I tend to take some time on this front because I think it's important to me. Obviously, I don't. There's enough hate in the world that it's insane to me that people just can't be okay with letting people love one another no matter what. I mean, the thing that's crazy to me is that it's not harming you. What do you care? Live your best life. Go love who you want to love. Why are you dogging on somebody else for them loving who they want to love when it really doesn't have any effect on you? You're making it your business when it really isn't any of your business, you know? And that's what this has gotten to right here also is, you know, and that's what's, created so many of these issues in society is that people are making other people's business their business when it really shouldn't be. Especially on the front of just letting people love one another according to who they naturally are and who they're attracted to naturally, and what's wrong with that, dude? Nothing, absolutely nothing. So it's really stupid that we've gotten to this point in society, and we've dealt with this in society for so long, where people are discriminated against just solely on that fact of having an affection for another person based on an attraction, a natural attraction, and they get so much hate for it. How stupid is that? Does anybody? I mean, am I the only one that hears how dumb that sounds? I mean, in my head, it's always sounded stupid, but even saying it out loud makes it sound even more ridiculous. You know, I don't understand how people get to that point of going rah rah rah. It's like we gotta get them. We gotta get them for being different. It's like, God, what? Why are people so scared of that? It's just insane, dude. I don't understand. I'm sorry. I know that's a long rant, dude, but God, it drives me nuts, man. All right. Still Wakes the Deep is a new narrative horror game from the Chinese Room. One second, guys. All right. Escape the Rig. The newest game from the Chinese Room has been announced. Still Wakes the Deep, a narrative horror game that takes place on an oil rig in the mid-1970s, is releasing across multiple platforms next year. Announced as part of the Xbox Game Showcase on Sunday, 10th June, as part of the E3 2023 festivities, a spooky trailer with multiple quick-cut shots of scenes from the game. The game's website distills the plot down succinctly, so we already know that after disaster strikes the Bira D oil rig in the North Sea off of Scotland's coast, we'll have to navigate the disintegrating structure to save your crew from an otherworldly horror on the edge of an all logical and reality. As a storm in the ferocious sea batters the oil rig like a toy boat, all your exits are gone. All lines of comms are down, and the only way to escape is to run. They missed a word there. Run, swim, climb, and scurry throughout the crumbling rig in the hope that you can escape the place, as well as something else that's made its way inside. Giving us vibes of the recent Amazon Prime series, The Rig, the game's trailer provides a clear overview of the setting for the aforementioned plot, and you can check it out in its entirety below. Oh, for real, Gothic? Dude, I'm so sorry. It's so stupid. So dumb. I just can't help but think that, there's so much of that happens because of people just being basically ignorant, scared, and projecting those feelings onto other people. I think quite often there are a lot of people that have those own feelings themselves, and they end up projecting it as anger because they feel like maybe they shouldn't feel that way or something for one reason or another, and so they turn to anger instead of embracing those feelings. You know what I mean? It's weird. I don't understand. I mean, I could be off the mark there, but I'm sorry you have to deal with that. It looks cool. This game looks cool. Chinese Room's previous games, such as Dear Esther and Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, were known to successfully capture the essence of a place and imbue it, the narrative, and the game overall with a thick sense of atmosphere, sense of place and mystery, and Still Wakes the Deep looks to have more of exactly that. However, it also seems to do it at a brisker pace with a bit more action than those previous games. This already looks much more like Amnesia, a machine for pigs. Can't wait to get on board and explore the rig. This game was just given away for free, by the way. Yeah. Well, know this for yourself and anybody else. That's this place was always meant to just be. I don't care who you are. I don't care what color you are, race, gender, religion, sexual preference, sexual identity, whatever. I don't care. It's about being good people. That's all that really matters to me. And this place has always been about letting people having a place where people could feel welcome and safe and understood and included, no matter who they are, as long as they're good people. So you've always got a place here if you need to come hang. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that necessarily everybody's always going to agree with and adopt other people's sentiments or beliefs. You know what I mean? But the big premise, because that's not the reality we live in, right? So I don't want people to get it twisted. But I think that what people have to understand is that we need to be understanding of other people's who we are as individuals, right? And if there is disagreement, be civil about it or whatever, right? But there are some things that I do find to be absurd in society and have been for a long time and things like that, and I'll be open about that kind of stuff like I have been. This looks cool. Looks pretty neat. Ubisoft Forward Showcase 2023, the biggest announcements and games. So Ubisoft Showcase is over. We watched it yesterday live, and as expected, it showed off what the publisher has planned for the rest of 2023 and beyond. There were some big name franchises on show, including Star Wars, Avatar, and Assassin's Creed. As one of the biggest publishers and developers in the industry, Ubisoft typically has several games in development at any time. The show included updates on the return to Prince of Persia's 2D platforming roots in Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, a closer look at the open-world action game Star Wars Outlaws, and plenty of gameplay for Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. Ubisoft also had a few updates for some of its live service games as well, as closed beta registrations were confirmed for Skull and Bones, The Division Resurgence, and X Defiant. On the Assassin's Creed side, games like Assassin's Creed Mirage, which already has a confirmed release date of October 12th, VR exclusive Assassin's Creed Nexus, and mobile game Assassin's Creed Jade were also in the spotlight. For petrol heads, the Crew Motorfest looks like a scenic celebration of speed, and Far Cry Blood Dragon fans won't have long to wait for the animated spinoff to arrive on Netflix. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not. I don't have a lot of high expectations for this game. It's been a long time since Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora was first revealed, and at the Ubisoft Forward Showcase, the game reemerged to reveal an action-packed look at its gameplay. Avatar director and creator James Cameron also made an appearance to hype up the game, talking about new environments that can be explored and the story that will coexist with the events of the Avatar films. The big news here was the release for the game, as Ubisoft will launch Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora on December 7th. A year after it was supposed to release. Look, delays are fine. This game's had numerous delays, though. Unfortunately, which is kind of the norm with Ubisoft nowadays. If with anything, they're not used to creating. There were things about this that looked good, but I'm kind of worried about what this is going to be like. With just maybe some of it looked cool, but I'm also worried about content-wise what it's going to hold. Yeah, for sure, Gothic. Yeah, absolutely. The thing that sucks is that we even have to have that conversation. You even have to say thanks about it. You know what I mean? So I don't even feel like you need to say that. I mean, that's so absurd, isn't it? I mean, it sucks that that's the world we live in. So, but you're welcome, I guess. I don't know, man. That's so stupid, man. X Defiant. After testing its high octane PvP shooter in a closed beta session, Peter! Taco Tuesday, dude. I love tacos. What's up, dude? Ubisoft is planning to push the limits on the game with its open beta stress test from June 21st to the 23rd. What's going on, buddy? How you doing, man? The release date for the game is still planned for summer 2023, and Ubisoft, that means it's like right around the corner. Sorry. And Ubisoft already has a substantial roadmap for X Defiant planned out. The game will ship with 5 factions, 5 modes, 14 maps, and 24 weapons. As for the first year of DLC, Ubisoft plans to add more factions, maps, and weapons to the game over the course of the next year. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. After its debut at Summer Games Fest just a few days ago, Ubisoft shared more details on The Lost Crown. The return to the 2D roots of the franchise has several hallmarks of the classic and modern games, as it mixes brutal combos with platforming sections that require precise control to navigate across. We also got a closer look at the return of time-manipulating powers, which can once again be used across the game. The twist here is that the Prince, Sargon, isn't the only person who can use these abilities, as other foes can wield these abilities against you. Yo, dude, just go. I approve you calling in today, Peter, so you can just hang out here, dude. It's cool. Don't worry about it. I already talked to your boss, and they just said you need to call in. Just let them know that OA said it's fine. You can just hang out with us today. You just need to let them know that you're in fact not going to be there. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Just hang out with us, dude. I'm good, dude. I'm good. It's good to see you, man. We're just kind of we watched the Ubisoft and Capcom showcases yesterday. Dude, I got the yawns. Oh, terrible. Sorry, guys. So we're like doing a bit of a recap on some of this stuff this morning through the news and touching on a few other things real quick. And then we're gonna play some V Rising, baby. So the Division Resurgence is gearing up for launch soon. To set the mood for this free-to-play game, Ubisoft debuted a new CG trailer. Like the main The Division games, the trailer for this mobile spin-off revealed plenty of action, exotic gadgets, and tense missions against other players in quarantine dark zones. Ubisoft describes the game as an MMO adventure that offers an independent campaign from the 2 main games in the series. Registrations are now live for the regional beta, which begins on June 13th. Yeah, I mean, I played the first 2 games. They got pretty repetitive pretty quick for me. And I don't expect the Division Resurgence to be any different. And it's a mobile title. Not really my jam, but to each their own. Skull and Bones is a myth. Dude, this game is not real. This game's been delayed like 7 times now. True's going to hate on me. True's kind of hyped about this, I think. But the reality is this game has been delayed so many times. Skull and Bones is still far off from its final release date. New closed beta for Ubisoft's pirate adventure game. The closed beta will be held from August 25th through the 28th, and registrations are now open. The Crew Motorfest. Yo, Gothic, you might be into this one here, yeah. After it was first revealed back in January, more details were later leaked on it. Ubisoft has shown off the first gameplay for the Crew Motorfest, has confirmed its release date of September 14th. This third entry in the Crew series adopts a festival atmosphere again, but instead of being raced across land, sea, and air across the entire U.S., this game is set in Hawaii. Set on the island of Oahu within the Hawaiian archipelago, the game is being developed by Ivory Tower, and the new trailer showed off some of the tropical environments that you'll be able to race across. It did look pretty cool, but it was mostly cinematic, I think. So, this is the Netflix show, Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix. 2 years after the Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon anime spinoff was first announced, producer Adi Shankar appeared on stage to provide a new update on Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix. The good news is that you won't have too much longer to wait until the violent and satirical animated series is out, as it'll be coming to Netflix this fall. and Assassin's Creed Nexus. Ubisoft first teased its AC virtual reality game at the Meta Showcase. At its dedicated event, it showed off a slick pre-rendered CG trailer of the tone and direction that it's aiming for. The big takeaway here was that you won't just play as one assassin from the series, but 3 of them. Ezio, Connor, and Cassandra will all be playable protagonists. You'll be able to take control of them across their respective time periods. When it releases during the holiday season this year for Quest 3 and 2 VR headsets. And Mirage. With just a few months left to go before it launches in October, a new trailer for AC Mirage revealed more of Basim's story and his introduction into the Hidden Ones. Following on from a gameplay demonstration that revealed the cunning and lethal techniques that Basim will have at his disposal, the new trailer showed off stealth gameplay, opportunistic combat, and an escape from Baghdad's guards that ended with some good old-fashioned blending into a crowd to make a clean getaway. And Assassin's Creed Jade. Assassin's Creed. Between back-to-back entries and the exciting prospect of first-person Assassin's Creed action and virtual reality, Ubisoft also managed to squeeze in a quick reveal for Assassin's Creed Jade. The mobile will be free to play and follows the traditional Assassin's Creed style of gameplay. Set in ancient China, registrations for a closed beta on the game's official website are now open. Star Wars Outlaws. Ubisoft's open-world game set in a galaxy far, far away arrived in grand fashion as an extended gameplay trailer for Outlaws had plenty to show off. Set in the outer rim of Star Wars, Outlaws puts you in the boots of Kay Vess, an opportunistic thief who becomes the most wanted outlaw in the galaxy and has to pull off the greatest heist of all time. Sorry, guys. They showed off the third-person action, high-speed chases, even some space combat in the atmosphere of derelict spaceships as Vess took on TIE fighters that were attempting to shoot her down. It's due to launch on Series X and S, PS5, and PC next year. Yeah, it looked like it could be cool. Just depends, I think. It looked like it could be neat, though. All right. That was a pretty good recap there. I didn't even link that, did I? What a dingus, dude. Here. There are a lot of links in there, probably for trailers and things of that nature. We watched all that together yesterday, but if you didn't catch all of it, then maybe take a look at some of those that seem interesting for you, yeah? Every highlight from the Capcom showcase. Yeah, so this is going to be a nice little concise summary here. I actually liked the fact Capcom kept it pretty concise, man, and pretty short and sweet. They got to the point, dude, and I like that. Capcom announced that Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy is in the works for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series XS and Switch. Set to release at some point early next year. Exo Primal, Capcom's multiplayer third-person shooter featuring mechs and dinosaurs, is getting a second open beta, which will run from June 16th to the 18th, and will include a new mode, as well as several improvements based on feedback from the first phase of open testing. New trailer for the game also introduced the Deadeye Alpha, a brand new mech variation. Exoprimal launches for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series XS on July 14th. Dragon's Dogma 2. This was big hype for me, dude. I cannot wait for this. Another big ticket item of the showcase, and Capcom added some new tidbits of information as it once again showed a trailer that had already been unveiled during the PlayStation event earlier. This is not E3 season. Not E3 season, right? Among these info pieces was the fact that the open world of the game will be 4 times as big as the predecessors. The pawns will make their return and feature all new abilities and an improved AI that's able to guide you to secrets and new locations. We're still waiting for a release date, though. Yeah, oh, dude, I can't wait. Can't wait. They also showed off a few other things like, what was it? Like RE for VR for PSVR 2. What's the Mega Man game they showed off to? Let's see if we can pull that up. I'll link this for you guys. The Mega Man game they pulled up looked pretty good. Here, I actually wish listed. I'll show you real quick. Right here, Mega Man X Dive. Oh, it's already mixed review. Ooh, God. Wait, this has been out? Offline, though, is the one that's... I didn't know this had been out. Oh. Interesting. So it's going to be an offline mode. So this game has been out since 2021, but it's like an online version. So they're coming out with the Mega Man X Dive offline version. Well, it'll just be, there won't be any online to it, I guess, is what's going on there. They announced that. What else was there? I mean, it was not super long. Oh, they've got the Capcom 40th anniversary stuff, so I'll touch on that too. Capcom has launched a 40th anniversary site with a museum and playable retro games. Capcom Town is built as the ultimate digital tourist destination. June 11th marked 40 years since the company was established, so to mark the occasion, the new Capcom Town website was created. Built by Capcom as, quote, the ultimate digital tourist destination, Capcom Town will be updated regularly with new features. At launch, the site already includes a number of areas, including a retro game section, a museum, a merch factory, where players can download Capcom-themed Twitter icons and pages dedicated to the Capcom CEO and COO, giving history on the company. The museum section features over 500 pieces of artwork, design documents, and video and music selections from a number of Capcom series, including Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, Street Fighter, Mega Man, Devil May Cry, Ace Attorney, and Ghosts and Goblins, dude. Sick. Retro game section, meanwhile, lets users play a selection of Capcom games either using their keyboard or plugging in a controller. Games available at the moment are Final Fight, sick, Mega Man, nice, Mega Man 2, Mega Man X, and Street Fighter 2. Each game can be played in their Western, Nintendo, SNES, or Japanese, Famicom, Super Famicom versions. That is insanely cool, dude. A new Capcom Showcase event will take place. This was yesterday. That's where they really announced this at. We watched the Capcom Showcase. Capcom says the presentation will include titles such as Ghost Trick, Phantom, Exoprimal Dragon's Dogma 2. It did. Yeah, it wasn't super long, but it was very good. It was concise. It was nice. And yo, how cool is this, dude? So in the day and age where we're at with video games, where so many developers are getting busted down, especially big, long-time developers, Nintendo, where they are constantly taking away people's access to content. They are not doing a good job at preserving video gaming history and stuff like that. Capcom themselves are actually doing something to be better on that front. Actually giving, these are significant games, dude, that they're just letting people go there and play, it looks like, for free, I think. Final Fight, Mega Man, Mega Man 2, Mega Man X, and Street Fighter 2. They're just letting people go play those games, I think, for free. Dude, that is sick. Mega Man X, what a banger, dude. All the old Mega Man games were insane, but Mega Man X for Super Nintendo, whew, what a great one. Street Fighter 2 also, Jesus. And Final Fight was awesome also. All these are great games. And just like to have like a museum in there where you can go take a look at some of the old like stuff from them, you know, it's really, really dope. That's pretty cool, man. New details for Dragon's Dogma 2 revealed. Oh, God, I'm so excited, man. This is probably my most hyped game right now. At the close of Capcom Showcase, Capcom gave a few new details about the upcoming Dragon's Dogma 2. It was confirmed the game will be single-player only. However, AI-controlled pawns will allow you to create a party that Capcom says will make it feel like a co-op game. This is the way. So you had one pawn in Dragon's Dogma 1 as well. I'll touch on that. It was also said that Dragon's Dogma 2 features a world that is 4 times the size of the original game. The original game felt pretty good. So 4 times the size is going to be incredible. You see everything in the explainer video below that talks about the trailer that was revealed during the most recent PlayStation Showcase. Let's watch this. What did you think?
The action RPG game Dragon's Dogma was released in 2012. Now, a decade later, I'm proud to share a look at the highly anticipated sequel, Dragon's Dogma 2. Today I want to talk about two
I guess we don't need
characteristics
that.
Dragon's Dogma 2 will inherit from its predecessor. First, Dragon's Dogma 2 will be a single-player game, but with pawns at your side, it will feel like co-op. And second, gameplay will feature action role-playing mechanics set in an open-world environment. In the Dragon's Dogma series, you embark on your adventures with pawns, otherworldly beings controlled by AI. Alongside the player-controlled Arisen, you can embark on your journey with a main pawn that can be customized to your liking, as well as up to 2 additional support pawns you can borrow.
Okay, so let me talk about this real quick. No, I don't want to share it. Get this off here. Bro, rude. God dang it, dude. What a pain in the... No. What a pain in the butt, dude. No. Okay. So, this is the way Dragon's Dogma 1 worked as well, okay? But the way it worked was, if I remember correctly, so you had your main character, you had your main pawn, and you could take one support pawn from another player, right? And I'll actually pull up the first Dragon's Dogma game and I'll like read it off to you because I'm sure they'll explain it better on their site than I'll be able to kind of like just tell you. It's been a while since I played the game too, but it's about like everybody else that plays the game will have like their own pawn that they create, and you basically you equip these characters, you set them up for what kind of class they're going to be, what kind of skills they're going to use, you level them up. And, you know, the better the character is, the higher they're rated online. And the more people that use your character as an additional pawn, the more like additional kind of resources and stuff you'll get, currency and everything, the longer they're out there and being used by more people and everything. It's a really, really unique system that was implemented with the first Dragon's Dogma. And we'll talk about it more after this.
To form a party of up to 4 characters. Pawns are controlled by the AI and are now capable of even more precise decisions than in the previous title, helping you in the midst of battle. They can also help guide you to new locations or give you a high five following a successful battle. It really feels like playing in a party with other players. Dragon's Dogma 2 is built with the RE engine.
You see how like the characters were like jumping onto the enemy too? Like that was kind of a thing in Dragon's Dogma 1 that was really fun also. It was like big enemies. There were like ways in which you could like get onto the enemies and do attacks on them and stuff like that if they were really big monsters and stuff. It was really wild.
In this vibrant fantasy world, you can look forward to a variety of vocations to choose from. Your vocation will shape your Arisen's role throughout the adventure. Will you take on enemies with swords?
That was dope.
It's all up to you. We'll have much more to share in the future, but for now, I want to go over a few sections from the trailer that show what we've improved for Dragon's Dogma 2. This game is designed to enable players to take on situations in their own way. In addition to AI, advanced technology like immersive physics brings pawns, monsters, and NPCs to life. What would happen if you destroyed that bridge, or if you pulled that monster's leg? What other exciting possibilities can you think of? Meet 2 characters pivotal to the story that also appear in the game's key art. Ulrika, a bow wielder with a deep connection to the Arisen, and Nadinia, a high priestess of the Beast Ring, which appear in the series for the first time. What destiny awaits? How will they affect your fate? The intricate relationships and situations you will encounter in the game are sure to keep you on your toes. During your adventure, you will come across familiar monsters from the previous game, as well as new monsters such as Medusa. You can look forward to new player vocations and many new experiences unique to Dragon's Dogma 2. Please stay tuned for more information. Thank you so much for tuning in.
That's sick. I can't wait, dude. That'll probably be a pre-order for me. I don't do that very often anymore, but that'll probably be a pre-order. It'll be available on PS5, Xbox Series XS, and PC. If you want more here, what I'm gonna do real quick is like I'll pull up the Steam page for that. All right, so like. So Dragon's Dogma 2, I'll link this for you first. There you go. Now, I cannot recommend enough people try out Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. This is the first one. And this game is a banger, dude. It's very good. This is the one that how many hours? I put 130 hours into this game. 130 hours, guys. I put into this game. I loved it. I loved this game, dude. When did I play this last? Here, let me see. April 3rd of 2016. Yeah. So it's been a little while. But yeah, I put 130 hours into this game. And if you like RPGs, dude, I cannot recommend enough. Go back. Why am I dumb? Go back. Okay, whatever. There we go. That's fine. This game is so good. I put 130 hours into it, and you can actually get the game for under $5 right now. It's very, very good, dude. So the oh, do they not talk about it right here? Oh, they might not. Yeah, so embarking on an epic adventure and a rich living world with 3 AI companions known as pawns. Partners fight independently, demonstrating prowess and ability that they have developed based on traits learned from each player. PC users can share these pawns online and reap rewards of treasure, tips, and strategy hints for taking down the terrifying enemies. Pawns can be borrowed when specific skills are needed to complete various challenging quests. That's the way that all this works. It's a really, really unique kind of system where you've got your own pawn, just like it was showing in the Dragon's Dogma 2 stuff. So they're incorporating that same exact mechanic that they had in the Dark Arisen, the first Dragon's Dogma, right? They're incorporating that same mechanic into the new one as well. And it was so interesting because you have your main character, you have your pawn that you create, and your pawn's very customizable too. Appearance, equipment, the class that they are, the abilities they use, like the way you level them up and everything. It's all very customizable. And then you have them in the online environment, and other people that play the game, if they want to use your pawn, they can use your pawn, and you get certain kinds of like things from the longer and the more people that use your pawn and the longer they use them and everything, the more like kind of benefits and resources or like currency and stuff. I can't remember exactly what it is, but you'll get from that. And you can borrow 2 other pawns from other people too. So you run around with like a group of like your pawn and 2 other people's pawns that they've created and everything too. And so you've got like your main character and then these 3 AI controlled guys that have been, one's created by you, one's created by 2 other people that play the game online. You know, it's like, it's really wild, man. It's really neat. And just the entire world and everything's done very well, where you fight a lot of big creatures, and they all have different kinds of vulnerabilities. And like, for instance, a Cyclops, right? A Cyclops, you know, you can get onto a Cyclops with certain abilities and skills, and you get up on their head, then obviously they've got one eye, right? So you just like stab them in the eye and stuff. It's a really big vulnerability for them, just things of that nature, right? They did a really good job with this game, and I only can imagine that they're gonna like improve, because dude, I think Capcom's a really good AAA developer in the world we live in nowadays, where we are just constantly throttled by developers trending downwards. You know, I still see great stuff coming out of Capcom all the time, and I really hope that they just make a banger out of Dragon's Dogma 2. But right here, dude, this game, the first one is under $5 right now, US. I can't recommend it enough, dude. I really can't. It's Steam Deck verified. It's 81 Metacritic. Let's see what other people said about it. Where's it at? Yeah. 81 Metascore, 8.1 user score. Dude, that's across the board right there, you know. It's very, very cool. It's a very, very cool RPG, man. I can't recommend it enough. It's way up there on my list, and again, I got 130 hours out of this, and I paid well over $5 for it, and it was totally worth. So, if you can pay under $5 US for it and get, you know, 80 to 100 hours out of this, then you know, I highly recommend. So I'll share this link with you too. All right. Elder Scrolls 6 could be Todd Howard's last game. Howard admitted Bethesda isn't the fastest developer around. That's fine. I don't care about fast development. I care about quality development. Elder Scrolls 6 could be the last game Todd Howard makes, as the veteran developer has explained that speed isn't the goal. Good. During an interview with IGN, the 50-year-old Bethesda boss admitted that the Elder Scrolls 6 may be the last game he works on due to Bethesda's slow turnaround with games. Dude, at 52, I got to say, old Hod Tower is looking pretty good. You know what I mean? He's looking pretty youthful still for 52, but I guess that's what money does for you quite often, right? As we look to an Elder Scrolls 6, that is one where I probably shouldn't say this, but if I do the math, I'm not getting any younger. He said, how long do people play Elder Scrolls for? That may be the last one I do. I don't know. That's largely down to Bethesda's long turnaround time. To put it into perspective, it's been 5 years since Elder Scrolls 6 was first announced. I want to be faster, but speed isn't the goal. Good, I'm glad he said that. We've all seen this. It's nothing really. One of the reasons for this is due to the increasingly long periods of official support for its releases, which include post-launch downloadable content, updates, and expansions. Quote, so our ability, like we talked about, to support Starfield, whereas maybe in the old days you wouldn't put it out, and then you would put it out, then you'd go on to a sequel. Now we can support that game for a much longer period of time, which is what our plan is, yeah. We obsess over the details, said Howard in a recent Starfield showcase. Considering Bethesda's previous turnarounds, the Elder Scrolls 6 could still be years away at this point. Whether or not Todd Howard will remain at Bethesda by that point remains to be seen, though it looks as though Bethesda won't be rushing it out. That's fine, as long as it's quality. Meanwhile, it looks as though Starfield will see the return of one of Bethesda's most irritating characters, and recently got an official release date. Okay, yeah. I'll even say that, like, I wasn't all that interested in Starfield, and I'm still not like super hyped, but the showcase recently at least got me a little bit more interested in it. It looks pretty good. Horses is a horror video game. Horses is a first-person adventure game from developer Andrea Luca Borlera, with a reveal trailer that is so unsettling it'll make you rethink playing video games forever. Announced during IGN Summer of Gaming, the black and white trailer starts off with plucky instrumentals and some goofy up-close shots of a boy and a farmer. Quickly takes a turn into the demented as the farmer introduces the boy to a herd of naked people wearing soulless horse heads. Scenes of the horses, people, are spliced with live-action shots of different actions like shoveling dirt, cutting a chain-link fence, someone violently washing their mouth out with soap. Add this one to the nightmare pile. What? I don't remember seeing this. I might have been distracted. Oh, yeah, I do vaguely remember seeing it. This was weird, yeah. What the crap, dude? Oh, no, dude. Seems good. It's like a comedy horror game, dude. Oh, dude, allergies are so bad this morning. Oh. Yeah. The Horses website teases more, confirming the game is indeed among aiming to be more horror than comedy. Players play the role of a summer worker who is responsible for farm upkeep. As players tend to the needs of the farm and all who live there, they'll uncover surprises and unsettling mysteries. Those live action intermissions are actually part of the in-game horses experience, with Borlera promising unspeakable horrors to be uncovered throughout the 14 days with the land and its enigmatic farmer. No price yet. Confirmed to be on PC. Other platforms set to be announced in the future. Launching in 2024 at some point. Weird, man. Weirdness. There you go. Silent Hill 2 release date possibly leaked. Release date for Silent Hill 2 has possibly been leaked. In a store posting spotted by a keen-eyed Reset Era user, Silent Hill 2 seems to be launching on September 29th this year. The date came from Australian retailer Guerrilla Gaming. Built by using UE5, Silent Hill 2 is a remake of the game from the same name that was first released back in 2001. We knew this. It's Bloober Team being contracted out under Konami, right? When launched, the game will be available for PS5 and PC. This is leaked. It's not confirmed. This might not be true, but a release date just before October would probably be a pretty good play by them. Yeah. So it's probably safe to say that this is probably true, but it's not official. So grain of salt there, guys. FTC sues to block Microsoft Activision Blizzard gaming merger. Excuse me? Yeah. I mean, that's going to be like the one of the what was this? This is the where was this out of? Australian. Yeah, Australia. So that's their $70 price point. You know what I mean? That's Australia. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Shay? Yeah. So that's Australia. You know, that's Mithril. Mithril's already always hanging out. Mithril's our resident Australian friendo, and he can confirm and does all the time, doing currency conversions for us from what we would pay in somewhere like the U.S. to what Australia would be. It's a significant amount more. Yeah, kind of crazy. FTC sues to block Microsoft Activision Blizzard gaming merger. We kind of knew this was going to happen. They already kind of blocked it once. The FTC and the what was the one in the UK. The UK's council blocked as well, but Blizzard was Microsoft and Blizzard was basically like, well, we'll just pull out of the UK. We don't really care. The FTC is a little bit of a different issue, though. The Federal Trade Commission sued both Microsoft and Activision Blizzard on Monday in an attempt to stop the tech giant from closing on a $69 billion deal to acquire the major video game developer. Suit is only the FTC's latest efforts towards preventing the merger between Microsoft, maker of games console system Xbox, and the developer of blockbuster game franchises like Call of Duty and World of Warcraft. Prompted by indications from the companies that they may consummate the proposed acquisition at any time, Monday's filing in the U.S. District Court of Northern California asks the court for a preliminary injunction and temporary restraining order by Thursday, June 15th. Agency first protested the acquisition in administrative court in December, arguing against the potential damages to the video gaming market the deal could usher in, but did not initiate any action to prevent the companies from closing on their proposed deal. Trial for that proceeding is set to begin August 2nd. Quote, with control of Activision's content, Microsoft would have the ability and increased incentive to withhold or degrade Activision's content in ways that substantially lessen competition, including a competition on product quality, price, and innovation, the FTC said in its most recent suit. This loss of competition would likely result in significant harm to consumers in multiple markets as at a pivotal time for the industry. Yep. If approved, the plan would become the largest video game acquisition deal in history and make Microsoft the world's third largest gaming company. The deadline for the massive deal comes at the end of June. We welcome the opportunity to present our case in federal court, Brad Smith, Microsoft's vice chair and president, said in a statement, "We believe accelerating the legal process in the U.S. will ultimately bring more choice and competition to the market." Yeah. The deal has cleared antitrust hurdles in dozens of other countries. Although, like I said, the British regulators and FTC are arguing that the merger would undermine competitors in console and cloud gaming subscription markets. But basically, everywhere else in the world, they've approved it at this point. If the deal goes through, even temporarily, if preliminary relief is not granted, the FTC says that it risks Microsoft being able to, among other things, begin altering Activision's operations and business plans, accessing Activision's sensitive business information, eliminating key Activision personnel, changing Activision's game development efforts, and entering into new contractual relationships on behalf of Activision. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think this is going to go down. I've said it. I think it will the entire time. I actually am of the mindset. I think this is going to be better all the way around for Activision Blizzard, and but they have to get rid of Bobby Kotick. Microsoft has to fire Bobby Kotick first and foremost. That fool's been at the head of Activision Blizzard through all their bullcrap, and he's still there. I don't know how, but the guy seems like an absolute scumbag, in my opinion. Xbox says PC audience isn't a window. It's a market that deserves our games day one. Microsoft will generate $1 billion in PC gaming revenue this year, according to Phil Spencer. I love Phil, dude. He seems like a true gamer, dude. In an interview with the Giant Bomb, Xbox boss Phil Spencer discussed the company's strategy of releasing first-party titles simultaneously on console and PC. Day one on PC, quote, day one on PC, and this will be. I don't know if people will love this statement. We don't look at the PC audience as a window, right? It's a market. And it's a market that we believe deserves our games day one, he said. Thank you. And that's where we're going to ship our games. It's not about like later on, I'm going to sell you those games so that something else happens. Like we see the PC market, we can do a better job with the Xbox app, work with work that we have, but our games library and even our investments in things like Bethesda was because of their PC heritage and what they can mean. Microsoft's PC gaming strategy contrasts with that of PlayStation maker Sony, which has committed to releasing most of its first-party titles on console first. Right. And maybe getting PC ports a year or two later. Last October, PlayStation studio Herman Hulse said Sony's future console games would have to wait at least a year before coming to PC, aside from live service titles which would launch simultaneously. Asked if Xbox is doing a good job of convincing the PC audience that it's an important market, Spencer said the signs are positive, even if there's room for improvement. We've seen numbers coming out of the past 3 quarters. Microsoft has shown and Xbox has shown that there's more subscriber base playing Game Pass through PC than there is on any other platform now, which is seeing that not be like a one-off occasionally and being a trend of consistent data for PC for Game Pass, I think is really, really pushing Microsoft and Xbox to see that PC is a big deal. Quote, all I can look at is our users and the business has never been bigger. Earlier, I talked about how we'll do over $1 billion on PC revenue this year. Game Pass is over 100% bigger than it was last year on PC, and our player base is almost 50% bigger than it was. Quote, so I don't know what else to look at. Can we do better? Yes, absolutely, and we need to. Any company that says they can't do better is busted. Any company that says do better, that we can't do better, that we're perfect or whatever, that is a terrible company. So it's good. This is what companies always need to look at themselves at being able to improve, right? Yeah, I've said this for a while now. People might not understand this, but Xbox and Microsoft is not, quote, not in the business of out-consoling Sony or Nintendo. Xbox has never been able to, even sell half of the like hardware that Sony has. So they've had to come up with different inventive ways to compete, which is what like their cloud gaming services, Game Pass is, right? That's how they compete. It's not about hardware sales. They don't even make any money off hardware sales. They lose money on the Series S. They might make around like $20 on the Series X, something like that. They don't make money on their hardware. Their platform, their hardware is about getting people into the Xbox brand and trying to sway them over into the subscription services. That's what it's about for them. And that's where I think they've got a huge advantage over Sony, and I think they understand that, right? So obviously Microsoft makes Windows, which is a huge part of PC platforms, and it's easy for them to be like day one release, right? So anything Xbox day one release is easy for Microsoft to also do Windows day one release, and they've got a huge advantage there over Sony also. So with them seeing the increased market for PC gamers and it being such a it's showing for them too in the numbers on like Game Pass and everything. I think that just really reinforces their notion that they've got to really be diving into not only what they've been doing with console stuff, but to really try and grab that PC market for the gaming side of things where Nintendo doesn't fit in and where Sony isn't willing to jump in, right? A black Xbox Series S with a terabyte of SSD launches in September. So yeah, we were going to touch on this yesterday, but we ran out of time. So at the end of the Xbox Game Showcase portion of Microsoft's Xbox Game Showcase and Starfield Direct, head of Xbox Phil Spencer revealed a brand new Xbox hardware, the black version of the Series S that has a terabyte of SSD. It's black instead of white, and it has double the storage that it used to have. It's better, but I mean, I've been saying this for a little bit now. You're talking about. So instead of $300, the Series S 1 terabyte version, the black 1 terabyte version will be 350 instead of 300. Okay, US. That's basically what you need to know. Console manufacturers aren't doing themselves any favors. They're like almost like kind of shooting themselves in the foot as far as I'm concerned. They're pushing out consoles with limited storage space, but then they're also wanting to continue to make physical games, but they can't because the physical media they use isn't because they're still an optical, right? Blu-ray discs can't hold on a single Blu-ray, you can't hold most the game size of most games anymore. So they're like reluctant to dive into the digital space, but they also, it's like they're almost like not able to because they're not giving people enough storage space to dive into the digital, really embrace the digital side of things. So it's really weird, man. I don't know what the answer is. The developers of consoles are going to have to figure this out. I think Nintendo is in a better space for it than anybody else is because they've already converted over to using like SD cards, right, which can hold a lot more storage than any kind of optical disc can on the consumer side of things, anyways. And we're already seeing where like Alan Wake 2 is not pushing out any kind of physical because they're like it's too big. It's too big. We'd have to push out multiple discs. And now we've got Square Enix pushing out Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as a 2-disc set, which is going to cost them a lot of money. 2 discs per physical copy, you know. That's like reverting back to the way we used to do things in the industry. And a lot of developers don't, and publishers don't want to do that. That's an extra expense that most developers and publishers don't want to have to deal with. Even to the point of Jedi Survivor was 1 disc, but you had to download an additional 40 to 50 gigs to be installed. Not talking about a day 1 patch, just additional data that had to be installed to play that disc, which is really weird. So I think that really, if console makers, developers want to continue to have any kind of physical presence for gaming, they have to change over media. But really, I think a lot of it is they need to switch over to getting people to embrace like the PC side of things have with the digital space of gaming. Digital. All of our libraries are digital now on PC. Really, you know, nobody really is working off any kind of physical front anymore. It haven't been for years and years and years. But the console space, the console side of things, they've been much slower to embrace that, and there are reasons behind it. But they're not going to get people to embrace that digital library in full unless they're willing to upgrade the storage capacity that people have initially in buying these consoles. You have to have bigger storage space if you're going to have total digital libraries, or mostly digital libraries. They got to figure it out. Oh yeah, Gothic. You know what? That might not be too much longer, actually. There's supposed to be a new version of PS5 coming out here before long, like a PS5 Pro. And once that happens, regular PS5s will probably go down in price a little bit. So it might not be much longer. We're about halfway through the life cycle of the current gen consoles. So this is kind of that time. They're starting to look at what might be next for them. They're probably working on prototypes, starting early development of next gen consoles. It's still 3 to 4 years away for them, at least Xbox and PlayStation. Nintendo is going to have a new console come out, I think, within the next year to year and a half. They're way overdue at this point, just because of how old the hardware is in the Switch. But Xbox and PlayStation are about 3 to 4 years away, considering normal traditional console lifespan. And it's normally about this time you'll see them come out with like maybe a pro version or slim versions and stuff like that. And then those, you know, you'll see maybe some price drops a little bit, like especially if they come out with a pro. If they come out with a pro, then the original PS5 will like slip a little bit. So you might be hitting that pretty soon. Real quick. I think this stuff, let me check out Green Man Gaming. This website can be weird when I try to go there sometimes. Hold on. They still doing this sale? Are they still doing this sale? It looks like it. I'll link. So first of all, check this out. So this is a list of games, notable games right now on Green Man Gaming that are on sale, and at least they were. This article was like a few days ago, June 9th. Yeah. And there are a lot of sales on Green Man Gaming right now. All these are going to be Steam keys, I think. I'm pretty sure every single one of these would be Steam keys. But you can see it's like Hi-Fi Rush, Skywalker Saga, Skyrim, Ghostwire Tokyo, Guardians of the Galaxy, Doom, Red Dead Redemption 2, Sifu, Chris Tells, Frostpunk, Fallout 4, Stasis, Mad Max, Evil Within 2, Middle-earth games, Prey, Pillars of Eternity 2, Batman, Arkham Origins, and many more, okay? And they're pretty good discounts right now on Green Man Gaming. This is their site. You can see Guardians of the Galaxy, $18. Skyrim, $8.50. These are the featured deals. They've got like featured new release stuff and everything too, but they've got a lot of sales right now. Coming soon things, but on the go sale. This is what it is. It's an on the go sale. So it's actually sales for games that are supposed to work very well on the Steam Deck, but you don't have to play these on the Steam Deck. These are just Steam keys, right? So you can see all these games, right? Lots of discounts going on. Hi-Fi Rush, all this stuff, right? Star Wars Skywalker Saga, Lego, all this stuff. So the sale is still going on. Lots of sales on really good games right here. Get off of there. What's happening? There we go. So I've been promoting that. I'll give you Green Man Gaming's website as well as this article, just in case. You guys check that stuff out. Cool. Just in case you're interested in getting some more software right now. Epic Games, free game right now. Cannot recommend it enough. Where's it at? Right here. Payday 2, man. You got like 2 more days. 2 more days. Payday 2 is free. Payday 3 is coming before too long. It's in development. It's going to be releasing before too long. Payday 2 is amazing. Can't wait for Payday 3. It's all about pulling off heists. You can have 3 other guys that are AI controlled, but it's a much more fun when you're multiplaying with people. Throw on a mask, go pull off some cool heists, and have some fun. It's a really cool game. I played a lot of it back in the day. It's really neat. It's free. Go grab it on Epic. You should. It's a cool game, dude. It's a cool game. What else did we have? Any other gamer deals right now? Sunblaze. Sunblaze on GOG. Sunblaze on GOG. I'll link this for you. This is in our it's free right now. This is free. So you can get it on GOG. I'll copy that. Link this. Need to play the first one? I doubt it. But it's free. Oh, you mean Payday 1? The old Payday games weren't the same as this one. I never even played the first Payday game. So I would just Payday 2 is fine. You don't need to jump into the first one. I don't think so anyways. I would just start with Payday 2, dude. But there's a free game right there on GOG. All right, so grab that. Anything else? I don't know if this one, yeah, that one's not free anymore. Okay, so I think that's all the free game stuff. Don't forget to grab that stuff. And here is our schedule. Today is V-Rising after the news. We're going to do V-Rising all day until 3 o'clock p.m. CST. And then we're going to do Dames for Game Showcase, all right? Must be a sign, Wick. It must be, dude. You're right. Tomorrow, I'm off. Tomorrow is a down day for me streaming. So Upload VR Showcase, we will not watch, but we might we'll recap it on Thursday when I'm back, okay? So there are no showcases on Thursday, but we'll take a look and see what we missed in the news segment from the Upload VR Showcase, okay? Then I'll be back on Thursday, and Friday we'll do RGG Summit Summer at 10 o'clock after the news, and we'll play more V-Rising. No, Friday, be grounded. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I'll be down. I'll be out of town. I'm helping some family do some moving, so I'll be out of town. Sorry, guys, but they need some help. It's a big move, and I'm going to go help some family. So just so everybody knows, that's the plan. Today, V-Rising, Dames for Games, streams down tomorrow. We'll be back on Thursday. Cool? That's the play. Dude. So, that's the jam, dude. Good news segment. Appreciate it, guys. Let's get some of this popping off real quick. That's not right. Oh, okay, whatever. Let's do that. Yeah. Thanks for being you. Thanks for being a part of this. Good news segment. We're gonna go play some V-Rising. Hopefully with some friendos. And we'll have a good day. Until Dames for Games kicks off at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and then we'll end the stream on that. Cool. If anybody is checking out this new segment or anything else out there on our channels, man, we've got clips from video gaming news. We've got entire video gaming news segments. We've got entire playthroughs that are on playlists from games we've played that are in episodes, and we've got just a bunch of funny clips and stuff like that that have come out of those playthroughs and stuff. And that's all out there on the the Twitch channel here and also on the YouTube channel. So check all that stuff out. If you're enjoying any of it, then I would say try to come hang out with us, man. We go live at 6 a.m. CST every single day, and we have a good time. We got a cool community here, and we have a great time just playing games, laughing. It's a place where people can come and feel safe and welcome and included in what we do, and all we really care about is that people be good peeps, man. That's what it's about. So have a great rest of your Tuesday. No Wednesday content, so we'll be back to video gaming news on June 15th. All right.